Hello, everyone. I'm the Wounded Healer, and I'm here to talk about relationships. Not just, significant others, I'm talking about friends and family too. Um, the thing that relationships need the most of is communication. Not just conversation. Conversation is about things, about mundane, whatever, BS things. The sun shining, the current weather conditions, your favorite color, favorite band. That's conversation. Communication is essentially the meat and potatoes. It's an information highway. It's a way to let people know what you're feeling and why you're feeling it. Compassion is a feeling of deep sympathy. It's like you can put yourself in somebody else's shoes. So, like, say you have a favorite wine glass or a favorite beer stein or whatever, and somebody accidentally breaks it while they're trying to wash it, and you get really upset about it, and your friend or your significant other's blown away like, whoa, what the hell just happened? Why are you so emotional over this? It's just a cup. Well, maybe that cup came from somebody who was very dear to them and they're no longer with them and they can't have it replaced. That is compassion. Putting yourself in your significant other or friend or family member's place and trying to see things from their perspective. Honesty is also needed for a healthy relationship. Without honesty, there is no real communication. So, unless you are lying through your teeth when you communicate, you're being honest. And honesty is always the best policy. Yeah, the truth hurts right up front. Yeah, it's an immense amount of pain right there in your face, but it's easier to digest because you get it all at once and then it's done and over with. And you stand a better chance of being, understood and worked with and stand a better chance of remaining friends with that person. It, the thought process is there. At least you are honest. At least you had the thoughtfulness to be honest and upfront about the situation. Another big chunk is selflessness. You put your partner's needs before your own. And while 90% of the relationships, this is just a number pulled off the top of my head from what I've observed myself, 90% of relationships fail because there is no thoughtfulness. They don't think about their significant other. They don't think about how their actions are going to affect somebody else. They don't put anybody else before them. And that's considered selfishness. I mean, selflessness and thoughtfulness are kind of the same thing, just spelled differently. You put your partner's needs before yours. And that's what I try to do. I mean, we all have our shit days. Don't don't even fret. We all do. I have some pretty gnarly days myself, and I get kind of cranky, and it's just one of those things. But that's where communication comes in. You need to communicate the fact that you're having a really bad day. Yeah, granted, things could be better, but you could also be misinterpreting things because of your frame of mind. You need to communicate that. If you don't communicate that, it's not gonna work. um, your partner just feels like you're beating up on them if you're not communicating the fact that you're not having a good day. Um, Relationships also take a lot of teamwork, but that ties in with the communication, the compassion, the honesty, the selflessness, the thoughtfulness. I mean, it all works together. It's all necessary for a healthy relationship. And anybody who tells you that a healthy relationship is easy and that fights don't happen, they're full of shit. Relationships are nothing but work. They are hard work, but the results are rewarding. They're beyond rewarding. You find somebody who's willing to work for you and help you all the while you're returning that favor. It's very rewarding. It's called a symbiotic relationship. You're working together for a common goal. It's the most phenomenal thing ever when you actually do find it. I've only seen it once in my life, and that was with my grandparents before my grandmother passed away. And with something so rare and so beautiful, I have to wonder why people aren't actually trying to make relationships work. Why aren't people feeding their relationships instead of starving them? I guess what I'm trying to say is stop treating people like throwaways. You know, your best friend. 9 times out of 10, I see people throw away their best friend, the one person that knows absolutely everything about them. They just toss them away because of one little mistake, because communication wasn't there, because compassion wasn't there, because there was no honesty. All it takes is a little bit of these things. Each one of these little things, just a little bit, and your relationship will be fine. But more often than not, most people just throw each other away and they burn the bridges. And a few of my exes have found out that I was the best thing that has happened to them. I had more honesty, more communication, more compassion, and thoughtfulness in my little finger than they did their whole bodies. And now they're kicking themselves in the ass because I refuse to talk to them because of their dishonesty and the effort that I put in versus the effort they didn't put in. It just won't work. I think most people, relationship wise, have to hit a certain maturity level in order to be able to hold on to a relationship. While, yes, most of my relationship failures are not solely on my partner, um, I did bring far more of the communication, compassion, honesty, selflessness, thoughtfulness, and teamwork to the relationship than they even came close to even aspiring to bring to a relationship. So, for all of you who are struggling in relationships and don't know what to do, and your partner just isn't putting the effort in, um, I don't want to be crass or cruel, but definitely a discussion about communication, compassion, honesty, all of that needs to take place if it hasn't already. And if it has, and it has several times, and they're just not getting it, honey, sweetheart, darling, it's not gonna work. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. You can't row a boat with one paddle on one side. You have to do that with a canoe. And canoes are usually a one person deal. Unless you have a two-person canoe, in which case, teamwork. You can't do it by yourself. It's just that simple. You can't have a relationship with just one person trying. And if you're the only one trying, it's better to end it now than to let it take forever to die out and you cause suffering on so many levels. It's not even funny. Dragging it out is like leaving a severed arm unattended to. Eventually you're going to bleed out and it's not going to be pretty, and rather than destroy the what friendship you have with that person by letting it drag on, come to a mutual agreement. It's not going to work. I have these needs, you have these needs, and they're just not being met. So I guess that's my whole 2 cents on relationships, because that's what I've learned and experienced and discovered. So take my experience, my knowledge, and try to make something better of your lives. My next video will probably be about common sense while driving and how to avoid the idiots on cell phones that just can't put their cell phone down. Have a good day.